Hi, and welcome to Infertility Unfiltered, where fertility experts and warriors are joining forces to provide you with tips, tricks, information, facts, inspiration, and a whole heap of lessons so that you can take back control of your fertility journey and get your baby on board. Hi, I'm Jennifer Robertson, and today we are lucky enough to be joined by Laura Ortner. Now, Laura is a certified health and wellness coach. She's a certified fertility coach and is working to become an assisted fertility coach as well. She helps people make lifestyle changes to become more fertile by understanding their cycle and removing toxic products. This was inspired by our own fertility journey. Now, today we're going to be talking about some simple swaps that you can make in your house to remove some toxins. And if you stick around to the end, we'll tell you how you can get your hands on a free worksheet. It's a guide so that you can go through your room, and clean out your house. So I am so happy to have you here, Laura Ortner.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
Excellent. So before we dive into what they can do to remove the toxins, I would love to know a little bit about you and what led you down this path.
Absolutely. About 5 years ago, I had gotten married. My husband and I had started trying to have kids, a little later in life, but very common these days. And we realized pretty fast it wasn't happening as quickly as we'd hoped. About 6 months later, we actually got pregnant. We unfortunately miscarried. And then about 6 months after that, we end up being referred to a fertility doctor. They tested all of my hormone levels. AMH was a little low. FSH, as many of you know, is very important in fertility. And that number was 47, which basically says that I'm in menopause. I go back to the doctor and say, this just doesn't make sense. Why would I be in menopause at 35, 36? And they said, I don't know, but you're not going to be able to have your own kids. Here's information on adoption. Have a nice day. So I kind of sat back reeling from that, thinking that just does not make sense. So I go and I get a second opinion from another RE, very similar. They said, well, I think that you could probably carry your own child, but it's not going to be yours. You're going to have to go donor with those numbers. So I then went to Google every piece of information I possibly could about why that would be happening, which the why really doesn't exist. There's very little information. It doesn't make any sense. And so instead, I really started looking into what I could do. Is there any way? Because all of Western medicine tells you, sorry, there's nothing you can do. So I started looking more naturopathic route, Eastern medicine, herbs. And one of the things that seemed to be a recurrent theme was all the toxins that we have in our home and in our lives, and all the endocrine disruptors that are in them, and just how very little regulation there is with all of our household products. And so that was kind of my first step, and it was a little bit of information overload. So that's why I really want to help people, because I want to help them kind of break it down room by room and really understand, like, this is the important stuff, and I try to make it as easy for them as possible to do that. And in the end, I ended up going to a third RE. This is probably about 8 months later, and I had brought that 47 down to 10.5, which is absolutely normal FSH and in normal range.
And that is unbelievable, and so what you have done works. So the changes that you made work. And I know that there would have been a whole heap of changes, but today let's just focus on the toxic element, and in particular, the things that are in your house, the things that you can simply just switch. So do you want to walk through just a room by room thing of just one thing or a couple of things that they can switch so that they can start living a toxic free life?
Absolutely. Yes. It's so important. I think that people don't realize that there's really no regulation, especially here in the United States. We have about 12 substances that are banned from our personal care. And just to give you an idea, Europe has almost 2,000. So it's really important. The first thing I always tell people to start with is their surface cleaner. I mean, you think that every surface in the house, especially in the kitchen, you're using a surface cleaner that is spraying down, you're putting your food on it. as it gets ingested into your system. So I always say to find a green surface cleaner. I will tell you guys a really easy site is the Environmental Working Group, EWG. They also have an app called Think Dirty that you can actually barcode scan anything in your house and it will give you a score 0 to 10. 0 means that is the cleanest product you could possibly have. 10 means I'd throw that in the trash tomorrow. So another thing, if you're trying to go room by room, it's a really easy thing because you can just sit there and scan each of your items and it'll give you an answer. And you could say, okay, that one's not too bad, but that one's got to go fast. So if we started in the kitchen, I would say that the two big things are any kind of surface cleaner that you have, and then I would say your dish soap, because again, it's going on your dishes that it'll stay on there. There will still be some left over. And on the guide, I'll give you actually suggestions to brands so I don't overwhelm you with information now. The guide does have some of my suggestions, some of my favorite brands that I tried and really do work and I really do like. So if we went to another room, the bathroom is the next obvious place to go. I would say that the two big things that I would alter in there would be your shampoo and conditioner. Parabens is probably a key word that everyone keeps hearing. All of a sudden they're seeing paraben free or phthalate free on a lot of the labels now. Very well-known endocrine disruptors. So when we're talking about altering those hormone levels, that's one of the first places that I go. Also, I would say my next thing, if we were really focusing on the bathroom, would be lotion. And it's one of those things that sits on your skin. You put it on and it sits on your skin. All products absorb into your bloodstream in about 26 seconds. So it's something that, imagine that you've got the average item being full of 10 different chemicals and those hitting your bloodstream so fast. So it's really important, and they're sitting on your skin all day. So not just do they have different perfumes in them, but they also have the parabens and phthalates and everything else that can cause issues inside. Going to your laundry room, I would say the very obvious one here is your laundry detergent. Because again, just like lotion, anything else that sits on your skin, your laundry detergent gets in there. Everyone says, oh, it smells downy fresh, or it smells everything else. Well, that's because of fake perfumes and chemicals that is in there. And then it's sitting on your skin all day. So that's why so many people can get easily irritated. That's why I see a lot of kids that have a lot of skin irritation from very harsh chemicals in our detergent. And the other thing that I would say in the laundry room that is the easiest thing to switch out in the whole house, it's one of my top things, is always dryer sheets. There's probably more studies on dryer sheets than there's been on anything else in the home for some reason. I don't know why that's been such a hot topic, but again, they found how much these chemicals sit in the clothes and stay in them. Essentially, wash after wash, cycle after cycle, it just keeps absorbing in there. And dryer balls are such an easy fix for that. It's a 6-pack. You can buy them anywhere for $10. Throw them in there. I like to put a couple drops of essential oil in mine. I put some lavender in there so it makes the clothes smell nice as well. The next place I would probably go, if we're kind of going around kind of a room, that is the closet, your linen closet. Air fresheners are probably one of the worst as well because you're spraying it into the air. It's known, the EWG has found that the air in our home is actually 4 to 5 times more toxic than the air outside.
And is that because we're bringing everything inside? So everything outside, we bring it into this little box.
And we close it, we close it in. Right now it's the middle of summer here. So we're middle of winter that, it's all closed in. It's not very often that we have all the doors and windows open, and we don't have a lot of house plants and things that do a good job of cleaning our air. So yeah, we just continue to bring all these things in, whether it's we're walking, like we don't allow shoes in our house because of all the chemicals in the ground that people are stepping in, the weed killers and all those things. So you're bringing all of that in with you every time you come. So a lot of people like the Febreze type scents. And all those are doing is basically dispersing more chemicals into your air, so causing more problems. anything that you really use as a deodorizer. So, deodorizing a chair or the carpet or anything else. Baking soda is honestly your best deodorizer. I know I had a stain on my rug the other day and I poured some baking soda on it and scrubbed it out and it was gone. It also it had a little smell to it, took it right out. Those are probably the top things that I would say that are easy to switch out. If you do have kids, baby wipes, just using the natural without fragrance. A lot of them have the fresh or they call it the baby scents. They want them to smell like baby powder. Any of those scents, and they're very harsh on their skin.
And fragrance is a big thing, isn't it? So if
Absolutely.
you've got anything, if you can get it without fragrance, because there's so many chemicals in there that
and they don't have to
it
disclose
is quite deceptive in terms of they can put anything in a fragrance and not have to really say what it is. It's just like a signature
No,
fragrance that
there's
they
no
use.
regulation. The term fragrance or perfume has no regulation at all. So that could actually be 10 ingredients and you don't know it. It's listed as one, and they can be any variation of chemicals that they want it to be to make that fragrance. So especially on kids' skins being, any of their lotions, anything, make sure that it's not just fragrance free, but it's pure ingredients that's in there.
Absolutely.
Any
Perfect.
allergies, keeping it soft.
Oh, that is awesome. Really great tips. Now, Laura, how can they get their hands on your free handout?
I can send it to you if you want to post it under our
I'll
video.
put it in the links in
And
the
then
below
that
this.
would probably be the easiest. I can also I'll give you the link to my website that I will feature it on as well.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. And what's your website?
It is naturallylb.com.
Excellent, excellent. All right, Laura, thank you so much for joining us and thank you for watching. Now, if you enjoyed these tips, if you found them really helpful, feel free to give it a little love as well. Give it a like, share it, and make sure you subscribe to this channel as well, because this is just one of very many amazing interviews with helpful tips and information for you to get your baby on board. So thank you so much for watching the Infertility Unfiltered series. Thank you.